Well, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, May 12th at about 8 a.m. in the morning, and it's shaping up to be a beautiful day. It's only about 3 degrees right now, and we had frost this morning at minus 0.5, I think it was. But that's melting off now, and I'm just out to do my morning bird walk on what is usually, to me, the best day of the year for birding, one of the best days. It's also my birthday, which feeds into that. But it's shaping up to be a gorgeous morning here, nice and calm, clear, and it's going up to like 15, I think, or 16 degrees centigrade today. I'll bring you along on my morning walk here around the farm, and this walk will take me usually an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending how good the birding is. And first thing I do is add up the birds that I've been seeing and hearing around the house here using my eBird app. That's typically how most birders count their bird forays these days. You basically open this eBird app and check off the birds you've seen, and you count how many you're seeing on your walk, and the application measures the distance you've walked and the location you put in. So I'll put in the location here and then just start on our journey. Okay, so I've tallied up the birds that I've seen and or heard here just around the house this morning. We're actually at 19 species just before I even leave on the hike itself, but I like to get those out of the way so I'm not trying to add them as I go later. And as I said earlier, you count the birds that you see to the best of your ability anyhow. Okay, I think I've got a couple species since I first mentioned my initial tally here at the house. I thought I'd just read them off out of interest's sake for anyone who's interested. So far we've got Mourning Dove, Ruby-throated Hummingbird, Kestrel, Phoebe, Blue Jay, American Crow, Black-capped Chickadee, Tree Swallow, Ruby-crowned Kinglet, White-breasted Nuthatch. There's the Red-bellied Woodpecker, Northern House Wren, European Starling, Brown Thrasher, Chipping Sparrow, White-throated Sparrow, Song Sparrow, Red-winged Blackbird, Common Grackle, Nashville Warbler, Northern Cardinal. We've had a nice red-bellied woodpecker hanging around all winter, eating the suet predominantly. There he is on the seed feeder, getting some sunflower seeds, I guess, to crack open. There's the cardinal singing again in the front oak tree. You probably can't see him in this view. And I hear a red-breasted nuthatch calling from the plantation. Another new bird. I guess the mother cat's gonna join us for this walk, or at least part of the walk. I'll probably have to come back after we get around the pit and bring her back here, because I don't want her going up on the road with us. She seems to enjoy these walks occasionally in the morning. She doesn't go on all of them, but sometimes she likes to come along with us. And it's quite a long walk for a little animal like that. We go about 1 kilometer if I just go around the pit here. "15 minutes in, and after a little delay at the house, we're now at 30 species. Oh, 31 species. I just heard a Parula warbler, pine warbler, ovenbird, black-throated blue back in there. I'm not sure you'll hear that. Just coming back through the sand pit to bring the mother cat back towards the house, as I don't want her going up to the road with us. What a beautiful morning. Picture perfect. And the temperature is going up rapidly. I can feel it. Birds are singing. Almost no wind in most areas, so pretty well perfect. The new pond looks pretty this morning. Just a light ripple on it from a little bit of a breeze. I had my first solitary sandpiper of the year in our other pond last evening as we took a walk around here. There's one of about 20 tree swallows that we have here nesting on the farm. Probably 12 to 15 boxes of them. I'm not sure. I haven't done an exact count this year, but they're in good numbers again. One of my favorite birds. Always a joy to have them around. Okay, we've got the mother cat back at an area near the house. Hopefully she'll stay there. She usually does, because I think she's tired after that walk. So we'll head back to the back side of the pit and head into the woods. I think the cat's following us again. She usually peters out by now. Maybe if we can get far enough along here, we'll leave her behind. Oh geez. She is coming. I guess I'll have to go back and lead her back to the barn or something. Okay, so the mother cat is laying up along the entrance to the pit there. So I thought we'd take a shortcut through the plantation here, and hopefully she won't catch on, or she'll be afraid of the noises we're making in here and just go back to the barn or something. Okay, a bit of a convoluted walk to get started this morning, but we're on our way now, and the cat's happily back there resting on the trail as far as I know. So we'll head back to the back side of the pit again where we left off and head into the woods and up to the road and back through another portion of our forest where yesterday I had a good number of warblers up in there, so hopefully it'll be the same today, but you can never be sure. We're now currently about 40 minutes into the hike, and I've got 37 species. A very large part of birding, especially in the spring, is the ability to know the bird songs and calls. This can help you distinguish species from quite a distance. And I've just come out this morning to let you hear some of the bird song that's occurring. Whoa! 2 trumpeter swans just flying over. That was unexpected. And it really helps when you can't see the birds that you're looking for. They're hidden behind branches, trunks, leaves. And if you hear their song and you know it, well, you can count the bird just like that. And even their calls can be identified in many cases. Now, about 10 years ago or so, various companies put out bird identification apps so you can record the bird that you're hearing, such as this ovenbird that's singing over here, and it'll tell you what the bird is that you're listening to. And the famous one that people use most, I think, is called the Merlin, M-E-R-L-I-N, bird app, put out by Cornell University. And these are great tools. If you're going along and you hear a bird that you don't know, you can record it and it'll give you the best likelihood of what it is. It's not foolproof, but it's quite accurate most of the time. So it's quite a contrast from the way that most people had to learn bird calls anywhere up to 15 years ago or so, and beyond that, back in time, where you basically had to see the birds and confirm what you were seeing and hearing, to confidently identify the species from a song. And I remember a few birds that I tracked down for a long time where I'd hear their song and I couldn't ever see them. And finally I managed to see them. So in those cases, I think that helps you remember the songs really well. Whereas if you're just learning off an app, I mean, it's a good learning tool as well, because you don't have to fumble around with guesses and things so much. But I think there is a lot to be said still from learning from direct observation and tracking the bird down yourself. I think it creates a longer term memory in your mind, as opposed to just letting your app record birds and then seeing what it's found. Pretty quiet through here. There are the ovenbirds singing, and I've also had yellow-bellied sapsuckers calling. There's one up over me here. A couple of them talking to each other. Okay, we've made it up along the road here, and the birds I'm hearing along here are northern flicker, northern water thrush, swamp sparrow, there's the water thrush, robin, grackle. I've also added a few that I got yesterday along here as well: swamp sparrow, common yellow-throat, and yellow-throated vireo. So I think we're up around 44 species now. I believe yesterday I ended up with about 54. So we'll see if we get to that today. To me it seems a little quieter on the warbler front. So we'll see if we get more activity down the road here. Okay, we got yellow warbler and a parula warbler singing in here. And a yellow throat. There's the yellow. There's the yellow throat. Yellow. There he is. We got ovenbirds, wood thrush, northern water thrush, black-throated blue warbler, yellow-bellied sapsucker, all singing through here. Couple really loud ovenbirds right beside the trail here. And that buzzy sound was the black-throated blue warbler. Black and white warbler, right above us. wood thrush up ahead. One sure sign that it's my birthday is it's usually the time around here when the mosquitoes come out. And this is the first day I am noticing a group of mosquitoes flying above the leaf litter here. Haven't been bitten yet, but soon it'll be hard walking through here, sad to say. Hopefully we'll have a few days left before they're too bad. The cool weather has been slowing them down this year. But with the warmth scheduled to come by the end of this week and into next week, quite warm, almost summer-like conditions, I'm sure they'll be popping out in huge profusion. Okay, we're an hour and a half in now and we're at 47 species. The warblers haven't been as abundant through the woods today as they were yesterday, which is a bit strange because it's very calm today. Yesterday there was a bit of a breeze through here, which often lessens the amount of warbler activity, but it varies depending on the migration schedules of the birds, the weather that's bringing them here, whether there's a south wind or a north wind. All those things play into it. It's been pretty good birding, I'm not complaining. We have had a fair number of birds. Here's a small butternut that has died and fallen across our trail, so I'm gonna have to get the chainsaw out and cut that off. The wood within feels fairly solid. Now that may change when I cut through it, but it isn't really a good wood for firewood. It doesn't burn hot, it sort of smolders a lot, I think, and just generally not thought to be a good firewood, so I won't be using it for that. I'll just cut it up to get it off the trail. Nashville warbler singing up in here. It's that squeaky one that there it goes. Sort of starts off with a few slow squeak sounds and then it speeds up at the end. There we go. We've also got a white-breasted nuthatch calling above me here, that nasally sounding bird. Now I can see the Nashville from here, but won't show up in this picture. It's funny how we progress through life and have different attitudes about our birthdays. When we're young and vigorous, we look forward to the birthdays, look forward to the celebration, look forward to the presents, look forward to the general happiness. Then by the late teens, early 20s, they become a little less of a spectacle, I guess, just more something that you're going through. And I still remember when I hit 30, how old I thought I was. And now at this age, like most people I suspect, you don't really look forward to your birthdays anymore because they almost seem like a countdown clock to the end. Anyhow, try not to look at them that way, but you can also look at them that you've got another year of wisdom under your belt. And I guess that's a good way to look at it. Wisdom that's gained over the years and decades. But of course, there's always that thought in the back of your head, I'm 1 year closer to the end of my life. And now I only can wish I could go back to 30 again. It's funny how your perspectives change. Hell, I'd like to go back to 50. The years pass so fast. That's a twin-engine Diamond aircraft that you can hear above me. I often hear and see that plane flying up here. Comes out of Kingston. I assume just going up for training flights, or maybe they're actually sightseeing, who knows. Makes a very characteristic sound, the twin engines on that airplane. That's a Diamond DA-42 Twin Star, to be exact, for any of you aviation fanatics out there who care. Probably not many, I suspect, on my channel, but maybe the odd one. I guess that plane has twin 166 horsepower diesel engines. It was developed in Austria, but it's also being partly developed here in Canada, apparently. And it first came out in 2002, and I guess the unit price is about 600,000 US for one of those. So I don't think I'll be buying one in the near term, but if I save my pennies from my beer cans that I find on the side of the road, I might be able to afford one another 10 years from now. I'm behind schedule today, what with having to take the cat back after the first track around the pit and restarting the hike basically. And I've been puddling along, recording birds and video and whatnot, so I'm behind the schedule today. It's almost 10 o'clock and I still have to get around the field. Killdeer down at our pond. I didn't think they were going to show up this year, but there's been one hanging around for the last few days, but don't know if it's got a mate or not. Mother cat's been waiting for us here at the bottom of the trail into the pit. I think she sat under this old roof over here for the time we were gone, and it looks like she's heading back there. Get in the shade. Bandit was scared when she looked in there. I think she saw movement but didn't realize it was the cat. And sadly, the forsythia bush is already starting to lose its flowers. Spring seems to take so long to get here, some years like this one. And before you know it, it's starting to fade away. Okay, we'll go around the field now, and I'll pick up Zoe from the house. She tends to sleep in and not do that first section of the walk. I'll put Bandit in the catio, because if I don't, she chases Zoe and harasses her quite badly. She wants to play, and she's a roughhouser. She can actually hurt Zoe sometimes, so I'll put Bandit in here. Come on, Bandit. Hold her back until Zoe gets well down the trail. Bandit, come on. Go in there. Hanzo. Thank you. There goes Zoe. Trying to get ahead of Bandit. So I just give Zoe a couple minutes to get down the trail, do some of her business, and then move on until she's almost at the southern fence. And then it's fairly safe to let Bandit out, because as you'll see, she goes like a rocket. And she can catch her quickly, and then she just starts grabbing onto her neck and wanting to play, I think, but she's a little rough. And for Zoe, who's 12 years old almost now, it can be a little too rough for her at times. Okay, so Zoe's well down the fence line now, so I'm gonna let Bandit out and you'll see what I mean. How she goes off like a bullet. Unfortunately, she took a different track than I thought she was going to. She went around the step here. Okay, at just over 2 hours now, and we're starting our walk around the horse field. We've got 51 species, so we'll see if we add any more before the end of the hike, which will probably be about 20 minutes of normal walking from here. Might take me a bit longer if I see birds to look at, but yeah, we could add a few more species. Just coming along the main tree swallow nest box area that I have on the farm. I've got these boxes all over the place, but this is one of the main nesting sites that they love to come to. Probably got about 6 pairs along here, plus a bluebird that just flew in and landed up there. I think he's in that green box up ahead. See him there on the post. Pine warbler singing overhead. Also hearing robins, Nashville warblers. Had a major cleanup job down here yesterday and the day before. This large poplar tree had fallen down here and was resting on the fence, and there was several large things hanging up in the tree here. We got the biggest ones down. There's still a couple. You can see how this tree's been bent over, and there was a ironwood down here that was bent over too, but we released that. Anyhow, I was out here yesterday cutting the end of this poplar off, which is about 13 inches in diameter, and I took what I could for firewood. It's not a great firewood either, but it burns quickly, I guess, when it's dry. Beautiful morning out here. Whenever I see dandelions, I remember my childhood. I seem to have lots of memories of sitting on a lawn looking at dandelions, often with honeybees roaming all over them. I guess when you're small, you're fascinated with things that are small also, plus you're lower to the ground. Little tree swallow looking out of the box over here. They nested in this box last year as well. It's a little hidden, this box, in behind the horse riding ring, but in a nice little open area. Field sparrow singing off to my right, as well as a house wren. Okay, we've just finished our hike here. We've been walking for 2.5 hours. We've gone about 3 kilometers according to eBird. Now it doesn't count areas that you walk twice, so that's why it's a bit lower than we've actually walked. We've probably actually walked about 4 kilometers. Anyhow, we ended up with 58 species, so yes, we did add some more species coming around the field there. I'll try to include the bird list in the description of the video for those of you who might be interested. So that's a good tally. That's the highest tally I've had on the farm this spring so far. It is possible to get it up over 70 here, but it's that only happens in the hottest days in May, basically. This was a pretty good day. As you can tell by the count, 58 species, quite good. And hope you enjoyed that hike around, listening to the bird sounds on this glorious day, May 12th, the best day of the year.